All right, this video is going to be with Roy, and we're going to be talking about self-abandonment. We're going to be talking about those times that we step over what we know we want to do. We ignore our intuition, and we don't follow through on who we want to be and what we believe in, what we care about. So I'm going to invite Roy to join this live in a moment. What we say. You know, some of us don't say what we want to be and what we want to do and what we want to experience in life. And when we don't say that, we can easily let ourselves off the hook from playing a big game. So welcome, Roy. There he is.
Hi, hello, Simon.
So great to
How goes
see
it?
you. That's great. I'm fired up to do this live with you. I'm going to share with the group here that's listening and the people later on the live. If you didn't know already, Roy is one of the coaches on my coaching team. He is an expert coach, coaching for over how many years now?
Oh, I lost count at 30. Over 30
30
years.
some years, thousands and thousands of hours. And Roy was actually one of the first people that coached me and inspired me to become a coach. And now I have the privilege of working with this glorious human being. And we're going to be talking today about our relationship to what we say and whether or not we follow through on what we say and what it's like when we don't follow through on what we say. So let's have you share your intention for this call, Roy, and we'll get some people in the loop here.
Oh, excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me on this live. I'm honored and privileged to be here with all of you tonight and so excited about this conversation. This is one of my all-time favorite conversations. And the intention of this call is that you, the people that are on this call, you discover for yourself what it is to live a life that what you say ends up that's what you follow through with. That's what you're participating in. Or said another way, what you're giving your word to.
Mm-hmm.
So this is such an exciting conversation for me.
Like living a life as your word.
As your word.
And why do you love this conversation so much? Like, why do you think that's so important?
Well, mostly what I found is people think that giving their word or doing what they say is a good idea until it's not. It
Right.
sounds good. I'm a man of my word. I'm a woman of my word. I'm a person of my word.
Yes.
Until it becomes inconvenient.
Right. It does sound really good, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound
It
like who we
does.
all? I am a man of my word. I'm a person of my word. It's very
Yeah.
likable.
Yeah, who doesn't want to be around a person who's of their word or who does what they say? So
Yeah.
it's a really good idea. And
right, like
you know, it's also a very, shall I say, old school way of operating. There
say more
well,
about that.
there was a time when a handshake was all that was required between humans. There was no contract or lawyers involved. It was, I say I'm going to do X and I will follow through with that. And if I say to you, I'm going to do X, I don't need a piece of paper to back up what I say or my word. And
my word was my
we
bond, my
lost,
handshake.
yes, it was. And we've lost that skill. And not all people. And what I'm finding in society now is we do what we say when it's convenient or that it serves us, which is the real challenge because we live in such a society now where we only want to do things that are workable for us. That, well, it doesn't work for me is a saying that we hear often. Well, what about the word one gave or what you said in whether it's convenient or inconvenient, whether it's raining out or whether it's sunny, whether it's the car's broken down or whether you have to take the bus somewhere. Where is one's relationship to what they say?
Yeah.
So this is why I love it. So the question I have is, what becomes available for humanity when we operate and be a person of our word or be a person of doing what they say they're going to do?
Got it. Okay, so that's the exploration we're inviting you guys to join us on, which is what's possible when we become a person of our word, when we become a matter of our word. And as you're saying that, I was thinking about relationships, like you said, about being convenient, right? Like it's very easy to be our word when it's convenient and the stars are aligned and I'm in a good mood. Then I'm triggered and you just said something I don't like. So I said I was going to be respectful to you, but now I'm not because I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like
there we
that's
go.
one example when it shows up all over the place. And I actually connect this to a sort of self-abandonment. You know, like when we give our word to something that we're aligned with, you know, we're moving in a direction that feels good to us, and then life happens, as it inevitably does. You know, someone disappoints us, we feel betrayed. All of a sudden, it becomes very easy to abandon that commitment we made or abandon that person we're committed to being. You know, I said I was going to be one way, and now it feels kind of difficult. So I'm not going to be that way anymore. I'm going to find whatever excuse not to be. And this is to me where justifications come up in relationships, and we start to justify our reasons for not being our word.
Well said. I love that. Well, and then so what do you think is the access to a person being their word, Simon?
Well, I think it starts first from this place of almost trying to be perfect. You know, I think often so many people are trying to be perfect right now. And so if you're trying to be perfect, giving your word sounds like a terrible idea. Anything. Because you're going to screw it up. So I think the access to giving your word to something is first being connected to what really matters to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. If I'm not connected to what really matters to me, what am I going to give my word to? I'm going to give my word to anything.
Yeah.
So that's the first part. And then there comes this like element of compassion for ourselves that life is going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to give my word to something, not knowing what's around the corner. And I think there's this kind of element that we don't give ourselves permission for, which is the openness to discover how to deal with what's coming around the corner, even though we don't know what it is yet. I think so often we go, I need to know all the things first. I think that's what I'm seeing most in relationship coaching is people feeling like they need to know everything about a person.
Yeah.
They need to know all the next steps. They need to know all the possible future challenges. And they're trying to get out ahead of those things, which is impossible.
Yeah.
So that'll be my answer is around the...
Well said. And I love what you just created there. And so I'm going to take what you said and simplifying it.
Yes.
And simplify. So that first access to word is choosing to be a person of word.
Choosing to be like, I'm going to be the kind of person that lives off of my words.
Yeah. Choosing it. Like doesn't matter. Come heck or high water. I'm choosing that. Now, the beautiful thing about word that I love is that word creates a world. First of all, what we say, what we're speaking, word, what's coming out of our mouth is the world that we're creating. So
let's clarify that, because you and I are used to speaking like that and living like that. The world is created from our words. So what do you mean by that?
Okay, as an example, I promise to love, honor, and cherish you in marriage until death do us part. There's one key element where we give our word to something in relationship that is incredibly powerful, and we're speaking it like we're actually saying till death do us part.
Yeah.
We're not saying, and if you piss me off enough times, I'm exiting.
I never looked at marriage vows like that for so long. And then I started to see through coaching that that's actually what has marriage happen. It's actually the giving your word to something.
Your word to it. That's the fundamental place. Now, the beautiful part of word is if in your vows you say, and if you piss me off, I'm out, there's the true, authentic word that one is giving.
Right. I do like
So,
that. I like the idea that that could be an access to giving your word. Is it doesn't have to be the highest possible version of yourself. If I was, let's say we were on this call and said, just so you know, guys, we are going to swear and yell on this call, and you know, anyone who comments, we're going to treat you with whatever comes to mind in that moment. Now we know what to expect. We've given our word. Now that's not what we're giving our word to.
that's not what we're going
We're
to do.
giving our word to make
Yeah.
a difference.
Yeah.
But I love that you're like you're establishing something.
Uh-huh.
You're giving your word.
Yeah, you're establishing something. So it behooves the person that's giving their word. I love that old school word, behooves. It, it behooves the person who's giving their word to inquire into what it is they're actually creating with their word.
Mm-hmm.
What am I out to create by giving my word?
Mm-hmm. So
And who am I giving it to?
so how do you? And I love this question because I, like you said, there's so much power in being a person of our word, and
Hmm.
I think a lot of people struggle with, myself included, the hesitation of being on the hook for something. You know,
Hmm.
like when you give your word to being someone or something or doing someone or something, now you've actually committed to that thing. And that can be scary. It can be easier to live a life without commitment, without being on the hook for something.
Yeah,
So how do we
and
create
well,
an opportunity for that?
that's the best. That's the next best part of word. So we can always keep our word wherever we go if in our life the game is really small.
Right. Like if you're playing, if you're not up to a lot,
Yeah, you can
like,
always keep your word.
yes.
Always, 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 always. And here's the best part about word. The bigger the game, the less someone's going to be able to keep their word.
Mm-hmm.
However, here's the caveat with word. One can always honor their word.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So,
before you get into that, because you said something really important there that I want to make sure people got. So when you're playing a small game, and a small game might look like, I don't care about the impact I make with anybody. I don't care about what I eat. I don't care
mhm,
about if I'm healthy or not. And my game is to drink water and put food in my mouth. It's like, okay, that is a very small game. It's pretty
yeah,
easy to follow through on that. Now, if you
yeah.
give your game to, I know you are I always forget. It's not just, what's it called?
I'm an outrigger paddler.
Outrigger.
I'm also a dragon boat coach. I'm a curler. I'm a 70-year-old
Right.
athlete.
Right. So it'd be a different thing if you just gave your word to sitting in a boat than
Yeah, exactly.
winning a race.
Yes.
Right. And so
Yeah.
giving my word to my wife to as the type of husband I'm going to be and the type of father I'm going to be is a much bigger game than sitting in a boat
Yes.
or just going ahead and just keeping life on my own, living a life of solitary all by myself kind of thing.
Yeah, which is fine.
It is fun.
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. That's a
Yes.
particular life. Now, I don't think I don't, I mean I'll rephrase that. My sense of the people that are listening to this call, no one is playing a small game here. Not one. Not
Well,
one person.
that's very very generous of you. I might think that some people might be playing a small game.
Yes, well, I'm always listening for, who's that I have great aspirations for humanity.
And that's why you're on this team, my friend.
So here's this thing that I've discovered about word. And through years of practicing and being a man of, now let's move it from a person of word to a person of honor. Because
Mhm.
the reality is the bigger the game, the less we're going to be able to keep our
Right.
word.
Things are going to happen.
However, it isn't going to happen. However, we can always honor our word.
And so, what does that mean to honor your word?
Well, what that would look like is, sweetheart, you know how I said I wasn't going to get angry? Well, right now I'm going to revoke that word, and because I am one PO'd person right now and I'm angry about what just went down. So I'm not going to unleash the wrath, but I'm going to just let you know I'm revoking my promise to never be angry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to I'm going to be a man of honor and say, right now I'm experiencing the emotion anger, and I am going to revoke my promise never to be angry. Or one could, when we look even at the level of word to self. So I operate at a level of word called make my bed every day. So I make my bed every day. Unless I don't have any time, I'm running out of time and I haven't managed my day, I'll actually turn to the bed and go, bed, by the way, I'm not making you till later. Just so you know, I'm revoking my promise to have you made by the time I leave the house. So when one operates that way, what does that actually provide?
But what I see it provides is a sense of freedom and power. You know,
Yeah.
um, I think about the guilt that I feel
Hmm.
when I'm not my word and I didn't honor my word. You know,
Yes.
because I know better, and I think everyone who's watched this can relate to this. When you when you know better, you're just like, I know I could have done that, should have done that, wanted to, and now I didn't. But now I didn't even acknowledge it, I didn't even own up to that I didn't do
Hmm.
it. I think about this morning, actually, a perfect example. So I have a word of the matter with my wife that in the morning I change our son's diaper. That's one of my responsibilities. Give my wife a little bit of extra rest, a little bit extra sleep. I'm the one to take him, change his diaper, get him all cleaned up from the night. And this morning, where we live, they do sometimes they do this thing called fogging. It's really terrible where they like use this machine that smokes out all the insects and it's like terrible smelling. Well, someone was doing it not so far away and it covered our area in this like toxic smell. So Masha, my wife woke up, our son woke up. I can sleep through almost anything, so I didn't wake up. And she wakes me up and she, shows me the smell, and it's maybe 5:30 in the morning, and we all just kind of make it work. We didn't. No one really got back to bed, and no one really got the sleep we were hoping for, but we just accepted it. And then I asked her because I had a coaching call this morning. I said, "Would it be okay if you took care of Michael this morning while I get ready for my call?" Now that was an empowered experience for me and for my wife and for my son, but would not have been if I went ahead and just pretended that I was going to do it and not did it, or didn't even create the agreement with my wife. I just went, "Oh, sorry, I'm running late and don't have
Yeah.
time." It's like,
Here, change them.
yeah, here, I'm just going to put my stuff on you. And
Yeah.
it's a totally different experience. And then, yeah, we got a little bit less sleep last night, but baby got handled, took care of everything. We're on this live, had a great coaching call. Totally different experience than feeling rushed and behind that typically comes with not honoring our word, like you said.
Yeah. And that's great. And, what you're pointing to in relationship is a beautiful thing because it's the nuances of honor that make the relationship. Those subtle, small little details
Totally.
that's where we get to honor. It's really easy to honor a big thing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not so easy to honor a very small particular situation.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people are single and most people go to the gym or do some form of exercise. Well, if we don't feel like going, even if we don't feel well, rather than justify, oh, I don't feel well today, so I'm just not going.
Yeah.
The honor comes in, hey, hey, I had a word of the matter to go to the gym today and I'm dealing with a circumstance and I am not going today.
Right.
And so what I've experienced over time is there's no incompletions at the end of the day when I honor my word.
Right.
When
And
I
what
honor, when
do you
I
mean? What do you mean by incompletions? Because again, this is terminology that
Yeah.
sometimes as coaches we throw out terminology that you might not be used to, and so
Yeah.
we want to make sure you get it. So when you say the day is complete, there's no incompletions. What does that mean?
Well, okay, so I've got 25 things that I was out to accomplish today, and I accomplished 20 of those things. You know, everything from cutting the lawn to grocery shopping to walking the dog 4 times to I pick up the poop, I don't change the diaper, but and
Same idea.
I have an honor. I have a word in the matter to clean up after my dog in the park,
Yeah.
which is really important for me.
Right.
So if there's 5 things like, oh yes, I was going to make dog food today, and I was also going to post a letter, and 3 other things, and I didn't do it, that could be seen as something I didn't accomplish today, or said another way, it's incomplete.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So rather than just blow it off and ignore it, I find it very powerful to say, hey, I said I was going to do these 5 extra things, and I'm not doing that today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to repromise and do them tomorrow. So my day is, when it's finished, it isn't, oh my God, I didn't do this and I didn't do that. And then I wake up tomorrow. So that the noise that humans make in their brain when we don't honor our word, I don't have that in my brain. So,
Well, I could just hear the sense of freedom that
Mhm.
comes with owning whatever there is to own. And that's what we mean. Like, you could call it being your word, whatever. It's owning who you say you are. It's owning
Mhm.
what you've committed to. There's just such a sense of freedom in that. And I think about, even just like, I used to watch basketball to
Mhm.
procrastinate. Like, I love watching basketball, but I would also watch it like, oh, the game's not over yet, I can't do that thing. And so I'd be watching basketball and I would feel shitty because I know I'm procrastinating. I know I'm doing that. And I'm pretending like I'm not. So I'm not even enjoying the basketball game. And when I would start to actually go, I'm actually not going to do that thing, I'm going to watch this game, I enjoyed what I was doing so much more.
Yeah.
There was so much freedom in that. It's the same activity, same thing happening, but a totally different experience out of it.
Yeah.
Because now I had a word in the matter. I was honoring my word. And it's something, like you said, so basic. Like, it's the daily little things that add up together. It's so easy to honor a wedding anniversary or a birthday. You talk about, you made me think about, whether you're single or in a relationship. I was thinking about that self-abandonment, when we pretend that we don't want something and we really do. And I think particularly about people who are single, who genuinely want a relationship, but are maybe finding it very difficult to create the relationship they want. So because we're finding it difficult, it can be very easy to go, maybe I don't want that.
Yeah.
Even though deep down it's just so obvious that we do.
Yeah.
But we just don't know how to do it. And I'm thinking now, right now I'm speaking directly to so many of the people who follow my content. Like, this is the point of what we're doing, you guys. It's to get out of the way that stuff that's keeping us from what we want. It's to actually have us create a new path to that relationship, to that self-confidence, to that security. Because these things, we want them. We do want them. But it's so understandable to be discouraged because we think it's impossible or extremely hard. And that includes having your dream relationship, being a parent. There's a whole thing going on right now with young people excited to never be parents, which I get. I get it. I also think a lot of it is fear-based, not genuine choice-based. I think some people are genuinely choosing to not be parents, and bravo to you for following your intuition. But I think a huge amount of those people are really afraid of what might happen if I was to take on that level of word in the matter. And that's okay too. That's okay too. But I think the reason why I'm sharing this is to emphasize, the work that you and I are doing is to help people connect to what they genuinely want and to create a path for that.
The other thing I can see when what you're sharing that just came up for me was how many of us are longing for a relationship, and we go out and we go on internet dates, or we go on these dates, and we don't honor ourselves at the level of ourselves, and we end up following through because we want to be in a relationship so bad, versus no, I'm going to
Ah,
stick to my word that I am staying away from drugs, or I'm going to stay away from alcohol, or I'm going to drink
like
more
meeting
water.
like meeting a certain kind of people that you know, like my person isn't there, but I'm keep going there, because I'm so hungry
Yeah,
for the relationship, and so
yeah,
instead I'm doing things I know aren't the things I really think are appropriate,
yeah.
but I
Yeah,
just.
and that's what we call dishonoring ourselves.
Mhm, mhm.
And I think that's the other side of word is it's the opportunity that word provides, that living a life of honor, or living a life of word as a woman or a man or any gender that a person chooses to be, that the whole world of honoring one at the level of oneself. Like, what am I giving my word to myself, and how am I going to
Mhm.
operate in life? And am I going to miss out on dating and stay home to see to it that I gonna that yeah, that I'm not so clear about that person on that app. I get a vibe that isn't working for
Yeah,
me, so I'm going to stay home. So
yeah, and
I
this right, like that's, and I think you're speaking to that intuition part of it, you know, trusting my intuition or overriding it because I'm scared to not get what I want, which I think
yeah.
it's that, and there's a skill in that to be able to trust your intuition and see, is this intuition or is it fear?
Yeah. And so, in my view, Simon, and people that are listening to this call, it all begins with, and Simon, you pointed to this in the beginning. What actually matters to me?
Yeah.
What what matters to me? Is it art? Is it sport? Is it architecture? Is it love? Is it food? Is it hiking the Himalayas? What is it? What is it one is passionate about? Discover, play with it, find out for yourself, honor yourself, let yourself go. What is it that you really love and you want to participate in life? Is it family? If you're scared, go for it anyway. And then the opportunity to honor oneself
Mm-hmm.
and give your word to something that really matters, to me is just the pure joy and opportunity that it is to be an extraordinary human. And
Mm-hmm.
just live that life. You're not better than anyone else. You're not less than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
It's the experience of knowing oneself as an honorable human.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Mm-hmm.
I'm inviting people on the call, and the other thing is, I'm always looking for places I can honor my word. I am by far a perfect human being, by far. And so I look for the opportunities of where I can honor my word, or where I'm not keeping my word. And 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 I really do feel like we're not done until we've left the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So it creates this opportunity to have a quality of life that is just so full of joy and wonder and confidence, and just beauty. So, that's my invitation.
When I hear you talk about that, I hear potential,
Ah,
like untapped potential. And
mhm.
I heard a coach that I really admire today. His name's Peter Crone. He was talking about people who say, "I'm going to help you reach your potential," and he said that's BS because you don't reach your potential. It's endless.
Yeah,
Like how
right.
good life can get, how connected we can be, how expansive we can be. Like it literally doesn't end. And
Hmm.
I hear you talking about that. Like as long as I'm here, let's keep going. Let's keep looking. Let's
Yep.
keep transforming. And I think this is where, the coaching comes in as such a beautiful structure. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you and I work together. You and I have support people in our life that actually creates a structure for us so that we are connected to our intuition, and that we are able to remind ourselves of what we truly want when we're scared.
Hmm.
You're a teammate of mine in that. And it's
Yeah.
and what we're doing this work so that we can be teammates for others to create this structure. It doesn't have to be this hard. It can feel free as we go through chaos.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna plug us here. You can
Okay,
work
good.
you can work one-on-one with Roy. You can find all the details on my website. Roy leads my Love or Fear program. So you work one-on-one with him. My group program starting on May 14th. All the details are on the website. And of course, you can reach out for any questions. But we're here not just talking to talk.
Mm.
We're here to have you step into something that really matters to you. And it's certainly possible. Like I said at the beginning of this call, Roy was one of my first coaches that inspired me to become a coach. And I wouldn't be married today if it wasn't for the incredible guidance that you gave me countless times when I was scared shitless and I did not want to be my word.
Yeah. And look at you now. Honoring your word.
Yeah,
Well, the other part of this is and I know we're going to do more of these, and we've just touched the surface of
yes,
this thing of word. There is whole worlds behind this,
yes,
which
yes.
I would like to keep exploring.
Yeah.
And the whole world of word and honor expands into other realms, which just excites me
Yeah.
to share it. So,
Yeah, this is, like you said, this is a glimpse, and this is why we do coaching. This is why we have a whole program that it has the structure, that has the details to bring you deeper into this work, cement it into what you're up to, and cultivate these skills in honoring your word and being your word. So we're absolutely here to support you guys with that. And myself and Roy are going to be doing these lives every 2 weeks. We're going to be picking different topics. Happy to hear any requests. And every second week, also Caitlin, another teammate of our team, another teammate on our coaching team is going to be on a live with me. So we're going to be sharing more and more to give you guys inside look into coaching and what's possible with love and connection.
awesome.
Awesome.
Oh, this has been so fun. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for being here, Roy. And so
You're
grateful for you.
welcome. All right. I love you, man.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.